What makes identifying legitimate military targets difficult in IHL? Imagine trying to hit a moving target in a crowded room without harming anyone else. That's similar to what military forces face when trying to identify legitimate targets during a conflict. In International Humanitarian Law, or IHL, pinpointing what can be lawfully attacked is not straightforward. The rules say attacks should only be directed at military objectives that contribute directly to military action and whose destruction offers a clear advantage. But defining these objects is tricky because there is no detailed list of what counts as a military target. Instead, there are broad descriptions and examples, which can be open to interpretation. Many objects in modern conflicts are dual-use, meaning they serve both civilian and military purposes. For instance, a bridge might carry civilian traffic but also be used for military logistics. Deciding whether to attack such a target involves weighing its military importance against the potential harm to civilians. This makes the decision complex because it's not always clear if the military benefit outweighs the civilian risk. The principle of distinction requires that parties to a conflict separate combatants from civilians and military objects from civilian ones. But in real life, especially in asymmetric wars or non-international armed conflicts, fighters might not wear uniforms, and civilians often mix with soldiers. This blurring of lines makes it easy to misidentify targets, increasing the risk of unlawful attacks. Proportionality adds another layer of difficulty. Even if a target is legitimate, an attack must not cause excessive civilian harm compared to the military gain. Applying this rule involves judgment calls and often relies on imperfect intelligence, especially in fast-moving or chaotic situations. Technology also complicates target identification. Drones, cyber weapons, and autonomous systems can strike remotely, but they depend on data that might be inaccurate or incomplete. Mistakes in targeting can happen if the information is flawed or if algorithms misjudge the situation. Reliable intelligence and surveillance are essential for positive identification, but in conflict zones, information can be limited or wrong. Without clear, accurate data, there's a higher chance of attacking the wrong object, which could lead to war crimes. Different countries and groups may interpret IHL rules differently, influenced by political or military goals. This variation makes consistent enforcement and accountability more difficult. In summary, identifying legitimate military targets is challenging because of vague legal definitions, the dual-use nature of many objects, the difficulty in distinguishing fighters from civilians, subjective judgments about proportionality, technological complexities, and differing interpretations of the law. All these factors combine to make protecting civilians and ensuring lawful conduct during war a demanding task.